Good morning, everybody. DK here with Adventures in Dirt. So far, most of the adventures in dirt that we've shared has been with the use of a metal detector. Well, today we're on a little bit of a different adventure. Today we're after real hidden treasure. Forrest Fenn's hidden treasure. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Mr. Forrest Fenn and the treasure that he's hidden, let me tell you a little bit about him. So Forrest Fenn, back in 1988, was diagnosed with cancer. Forrest Fenn is a lifelong art dealer, archaeologist, treasure hunter, artifact collector, and kind of an eccentric old guy. Anyways, he lives down in New Mexico in Santa Fe. He's still alive. But in '88, he was diagnosed with cancer. So his plan that he had come up with was to take a treasure chest and fill it full of all of his artifacts, various artifacts he's collected over the years. Gold, jewels, rubies, emeralds, diamonds, jade, all kinds of artifacts. And it's been valued anywhere between $1 and $2 million. He's going to take that out to a special place that only he knows, and he was going to lay down beside it and die. Those are his words. Well, that didn't happen. Mr. Fenn got better. He went into remission, and he sat on that chest for about 10 years or so, and they started thinking about what he was going to do with it. And in 2010, roughly around 2010, he went out and he hid his treasure chest, and he decided to leave clues and hints for people to try to find his treasure. And he created one of the world's greatest modern treasure hunts out there. There's been countless people out searching for it. So far, no one has found it. Here's some things he has said. He wrote a poem. He wrote a book of memoirs, and in it, he wrote a poem, and he also published a map. And the map shows a range of Rocky Mountains running from New Mexico through Colorado, through Wyoming, and into Montana. Ends at the Canadian border. He said somewhere on that map is the chest. So he released a poem. It's a 24-line, 6-stanza poem. And in it, he says there are 9 clues that, if followed exactly and deciphered correctly, will lead you exactly to the treasure, the exact location. So everyone has been trying to decipher this poem, and he's also, over the years, given other little hints, other little clues, and different things he's said that people are trying to fit into the solve of the poem. And of course, I, being the Dirt King, think I've figured it out, just like everyone else, right? My solve of the poem is probably just as legitimate as everyone else's. But this weekend, it's Sunday, April 16th, Easter Sunday. Myself and Nitro Zerton here, and my lovely wife, we're out looking for it. We're headed to a spot that I have chosen that matches up with every part of the poem that I think is a clue, and also is not discredited by anything Mr. Fenn has said over the years. So I'm pretty excited to go check this place out. It's taken us quite a drive. We've had to head about 7 hours north from where we live on Easter Sunday, but it gets this way. You find yourself believing in your solve so much that you just have to go check it out. Let me read you Mr. Fenn's poem. It says, "As I have gone alone in there, and with my treasures bold, I can keep my secret where, and hint of riches new and old. Begin it where warm waters halt, and take it in the canyon down. Not far, but too far to walk, put in below the home of Brown. From there it's no place for the meek, the end is ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek, just heavy loads in water high. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down, your quest to cease, but tarry scant with marvel gaze, just take the chest and go in peace. So why is it that I must go and leave my trove for all to seek? The answer I already know. I've done it tired, and now I'm weak. So hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth the cold. If you are brave and in the wood, I give you title to the gold. So that's Mr. Fenn's poem. I think I've identified the 9 clues in that, and the spot I've chosen is north of Colorado in the state of Wyoming. Some other things Mr. Fenn has said. He said he hid the treasure somewhere in the Rocky Mountains between 5,000 feet and 10,200 feet. He gave those numbers. I think that's actually a clue. I think that clues you in on where to be looking. He said other things over the years. He said a child could pick it up if the child could lift 43 pounds, because I guess the chest weighs 43 pounds. He said that you don't need any special equipment to get to where the treasure's hidden. It says take a flashlight and a sandwich. That's what he said. To me, it means take a flashlight. It means you're going to have to look inside somewhere, possibly inside some wood, because if you're brave and in the wood, I think it's hidden within some wood. And you might need a flashlight to kind of peek in there to see it. Take a sandwich. It's not going to take you all day. Mr. Fenn said that when he hid the treasure, he drove a car out there, and that he made a trip from his car to the hiding place. He made 2 trips because it was too heavy to take in one trip. He made 2 trips from the place to his car in one afternoon. So that tells me it's not probably going to take us too long to look. The place I've chosen, it makes sense. We'll have to park a car and we'll have to walk to a place not too far away from where the car is. It could also be, it's not too far, but too far to walk. I think that instructs us to take your car. It's a place where you'll be taking your car, so you won't have to walk. But other people have every aspect of this poem deciphered many different ways. Some get very, very involved with it, thinking you have to know some abstract Native American Indian language or Spanish. I just don't believe that Mr. Fenn complicated it that much. He said in many interviews along the lines of that it's pretty straightforward, and don't mess with my poem. He has said start at the beginning and go in chronological order and work your way down. And many people, including me, think starting at the beginning means begin where the warm waters halt. I believe the first 4 lines of the stanza is basically just setting things up. I don't believe there's too many clues in the first 4 lines. And also the second to last stanza, I don't believe has any clues in it, but I think every other stanza does contain the clues that we're looking for. So here we are. We're in eastern Wyoming. We're going to look along the Green River. Mr. Fenn was an avid fly fisherman. And to me, as soon as I heard that and read about how much he loved fly fishing, to me the mecca of fly fishing is the Green River in Wyoming. And I don't think it gets much better than that. Now I know Mr. Fenn grew up in Yellowstone, and I know that many people think it's hidden up there in some childhood favorite spot of his, and it could be. A lot of people think it's in New Mexico, not too far from his home, and it could be. I think the elevations he gave kind of gives a hint. If you look at the Green River and you look at where it originates from, it comes down out of the minor glacier and feeds into a lake, and then from that lake the river actually starts, the Green River. If you look at a topo map of that, the actual elevation at that point to where the Green River starts out of that high mountain lake is 10,200 feet. And if you follow the Green River all the way down to where it terminates at the connection with the Colorado River in Canyonlands National Park, which is 750 miles away, and you zoom in on that and you look at what the topographical map says there, at the point in which the Green River joins the Colorado River and ends is 5,000 feet. So I do believe that the 5,000 feet to 200 feet is a clue, and states Green River, plus the fact that he's a fly fisherman. It all kind of makes sense.
Okay, so here's my solve to Mr. Fenn's poem. So this is a little spot west of Pinedale, Wyoming, on the Green River, just west of Daniel Junction. Begin it where warm waters halt. That's at the confluence between the Green River and 40 Rod Creek. And take it in the canyon down. I believe you take the canyon road down to get to where warm waters halt. It's not too far, but it's too far to walk, which means you have to take your car. Put in below the home of Brown. I believe that in my case, in my solve here, it's very direct. B is capitalized, and this is Craig Brown's house. And it's right below this. From there, it's no place for the meek. This could mean a couple different things. One, you're going to have to cross a Russian River. This is grizzly country. Or it could mean that maybe it was private property. These signs all look new at this property, so I don't believe that they were around back when Forrest hid the treasure 7 years ago or so. They look too new for that. So maybe that time they weren't up. And maybe it could just be, you're out here by yourself. You went in there alone. It's no place for the meek. You're going to have to be brave. And he even says later in his poem that if you are brave and in the wood. So you have to, wherever this place is at, you're going to have to be brave. And it's no place for the meek. The end is ever drawing nigh. The end is getting closer. You're getting closer now. So you start the warm waters where the warm waters halt below the house of Brown. You've taken the canyon road down to get there. And now you're going to go up your creek because there'll be no paddle up your creek. So that means you're heading up creek. Just heavy loads and water high. So it's either the heavy loads or the rush of the water that's heavy on your legs and the high water. Or it could mean that the treasure he was carrying was his heavy load and the waters were fairly high. If you've been wise and found the blaze and you found that spot, you look quickly down, your quest to cease. So look quickly down yonder. But tarry scant with marvel gaze, just take the chest and go in peace. That means don't dilly-dally, don't hang around. Maybe because you're on private property, or maybe because you're in grizzly country. Don't hang around there and put yourself in unnecessary peril. Just grab the chest and go in peace. The next to the last stanza I don't believe has any clues to it. It kind of just talks about why he did it. But the last stanza, hear me all and listen good, I believe he means listen to the next couple of lines. I'm about ready to give you a hint here. Your effort will be worth the cold of getting wet and having to cross a creek. If you are brave and in the wood, if you're brave and you're searching in a wood pile or in a wood stump or in a wood thing, then I give you title to the gold. So that was my solve. That's what led me to this location. And we'll see how it goes. I believe it begins where warm waters halt. You find that place, but I believe take it in the canyon down is not the next step. I believe it's the step before begin it where warm waters halt. So here's the Green River. Right here is the end of 40 Rod Creek, where 40 Rod Creek joins Green River. I believe that's where warm waters halt. This is the home of Mr. Craig Brown, lives just above this spot. This is the blaze. It's a blaze in the ground that points direction. It also looks like a little flame, but I see it's more of a direction. And here's a little wood pile out here that I think the treasure sits in. This is our target. This is where we're headed. It's either this one or it's this one up here. This is what I think he means by if you are brave and in the wood. So if we have begin where warm waters halt, and if it's that spot right there at the confluence between the Green River and the 40 Rod Creek, well, to get down there, we've got to take this canyon road down. He doesn't say begin where warm waters halt, then take it in the canyon down. He says begin where warm waters halt and take it in the canyon down. Not too far, but too far to walk. Put in below the home of Brown. And from there, it's no place for the meek. The end is ever drawing nigh. I believe that from there, you're going to have to be brave. And you're getting close. Well, when we went out here this time, we found a bunch of obstacles. We found ourselves with a bunch of snow on the ground that we couldn't pass. And we actually had to come down this road right here and actually hike down it and climb up to the main road. And then we had to walk this entire length. But I believe that Mr. Forrest Fenn drove this length and started somewhere around here and didn't have too far to walk at that point. I believe you're wise and found that blaze and you look quickly down. I think that means look quickly down or down yonder. And that's where that wood is.
So I hope to be checking in with you soon, live from the site, and we'll go see. You never know. And if it's not found today, we'll continue our search and pick another spot that makes sense and join the troves of others that are out there looking for this treasure and have been for the past 7 years. So we will check in with you from the field. See you then. Hey everybody, DK here with Adventures in Dirt. I'm here with the family. Got my lovely wife Sheila. Got Nitro Zerton in the back navigating for me. Say hi, Nitro.
Hi.
All right. We're off to find treasure.
I should not be navigating. I am not good enough at that.
You're not a good navigator?
Oh
He's
no.
eating.
I'm so bad with directions.
Well, so am I. I think we're going the wrong way already. It's not a good start. But we will go find Mr. Forrest Fenn's treasure today. He's been hiding long enough. Do we come in from that way or do we come in from that way? We came in from that way. We came from that way. So, 10 minutes, we're already lost in Wyoming. Just luck. Alright, so here we are. Heading down. Had to park quite a ways away. So we weren't expecting snow or mud. So, I'll go ahead and see if it is too far to walk. All right. All right, so right here is 40 Rod Creek. This is the confluence where it enters into the Green River. So my thoughts are that creek water being shallower, warmer, meets the colder water of Green River. And that's where warm waters halt, right there. Put in from below the House of Brown. There'll be no paddle up your creek, so we're gonna head up creek. And right here the land juts out to the left. Thinking that's the blaze. So we gotta look for a place to cross. Wasn't expecting all this brush, that's for sure. So right there, that little piece of land that juts out. Here's the wood pile. See it out there? That's one on the far side, I think.
At least they're still there. That's a good sign.
Yeah. Now we just got to find a way to cross. It's moving a little faster than I thought it would be. And this is all a lot marshier than I thought it was going to be. See what this looks like. Ooh.
Go right there seems like the smallest point.
Right there?
Yeah. There's.
Okay, let's make our way over that way. Okay. So we are cold. We did make it across the creek. It was a little deep. Came up to just above my knee. And now we're on our way to go find this wood pile. And I do see a fence line. Yeah. So not the wood pile I was thinking about. But I'll start looking under some of these. What do you think, Owen?
I don't think it's here. At least right here in this.
All right, so here's our wood pile I saw, and nothing's really showing that it's here. I always got startled by a big moose that had brown fur on it. It's got us both a little sketchy, but there's that brown pile right over there.
Wasn't there a third one? Oh, that way?
Over to the right. So, all right. I'll do.
Just got a chance.
All right. See that little dirt that's dug out over there?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's what you need the flashlight for. Let's check it out. Well, we came, we looked, we didn't kick ass. So we looked in the spot where we thought it was. Got the crap scared out of us by a brown furred moose that jumped out of the bushes. We are in grizzly country. That did not settle well with either one of us. And but it was fun. We can say we did it. We made it all the way out here. We made it to the spot. And now the search continues. We'll have to look at the next spot. Okay, until next time, we'll see ya.